What's up, everybody? This is your boy Quaz, and this is brand spanking new episode of the Quazemoto Show. With me, 2 weeks in a row, is my boy D. D, what's up?
What's up, man? 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an evil laugh, man. I don't know what you got going on.
But you know, this is September. This is harvest time, man. It's time Halloween, man. The pumpkins, man. It's crazy out there.
I know why you're happy. It's football season.
No, I'm not happy. The Cowboys lost.
That knucklehead Williams forgot to run out of bounds. You know? What are you going to do? But look, if we lost by 1 point, that's a good sign. And
I blame it on Jarek, man, because he should have had the players prepared.
Yeah.
You don't go to the huddle with third down at the 9 and don't tell the players get out of bounds. It's unexcusable.
Well, I mean, I teach you that in high school. 2-minute drill, catch the ball, run out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's pretty basic.
That's the last thing that's got to come out of that the coach has got to get to the quarterback and say, hey, tell your players, go out of bounds.
Yeah, man. Fundamentals, man. But don't be too depressed, D. We got those sorry-ass Redskins next week at home. And
they're despicable.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, man, it was like watching kids get abuse.
I am gonna quote the late great Dennis Green. I think he passed away, right?
Yeah, he passed away a few weeks ago.
Yeah. The Redskins were who we thought they were, and we kicked their ass.
Yeah.
I paraphrased a little bit, but that was the Steelers. You know?
I don't understand why the Redskins during the week did not put their best player on the Steelers' best player.
Well, their excuse is that they play zone defense. And that dude, Josh Norman, the cornerback, he's like, I only play right side. Okay. That makes it easy for the Steelers. I'm just going to line up Antonio Brown on the left side. Game over.
No, actually, he only lines up on the left side. But if you're a lockdown player, man, you got to play both sides.
I think he's scared.
I've heard that he didn't volunteer to follow or stalk.
Yeah.
Is what we usually call it.
Yeah.
Stalking.
You're absolutely right, D. If you are self-proclaimed the best cornerback in the world, you go against the top receiver every single play. No excuses. You know?
The Deion Sanders, the Reedus.
Yeah.
He's on his last leg, but the Deion Sanders, they stalk their opponents.
Oh yeah. I can't wait till Des Bryant next week, man. He's gonna have a field day. Dak Prescott just gotta get him the ball. Get him the ball, Dak. All you gotta do is just get him the ball.
I'm a little discouraged because he only got the ball. He only caught one pass.
I mean, come on. We got a rookie quarterback. He was doing checkdowns all game, man. It was either hand off the ball to Ezekiel Elliott, who's a beast, or go to your check down. And that's what he did all game.
He threw the ball too much. They should have stayed on the ground, Quaz.
True. That is true. Just keep feeding the ball. But yo.
You got a guy that's sitting on the line, on the defensive line, he only has 3 fingers. You gotta run down his throat.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Running down their throat behind that O-line. But next week against that horrible Redskins defense, the Cowboys running game is going to have a field day.
You forgot something.
What's that?
The Cowboys' terrible defense.
I mean, come on. You saw Kirk Cousins. He's the same old Kirk Cousins in year 2, throwing away picks, getting scared, standing there like a statue behind the old line.
Well, one way you can look at it, at least we did hold the Giants, Eli Manning. He's got 2 Super Bowls. At least we held him to 20 points.
That's the difference. Eli, he's a veteran. He's a Manning. He's got 2 rings. Who's Kirk Cousins? That's what the Steelers were thinking last night. Who the fuck is Kirk Cousins? No one.
Yeah.
Take away their run game, make Kirk Cousins win. And he didn't do it.
What a shame. Mismanagement, man. I blame that on Gruden. You gotta blame it on Gruden. Gruden, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You got the best player, man. Your best player is not even on their best player.
Yeah.
And they're laughing. Pittsburgh was laughing on the sideline.
Oh yeah. They're like, oh really? Oh really? You're just gonna give us the other cornerback? All right. It's too easy.
They were laughing.
It's too easy. Brown and Roethlisberger were just playing pitch and catch all night. You know?
It was so easy that Antonio Brown did the funky chicken in the end zone.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And they had their backup running back. Because Le'Veon Bell suspended. Their backup running back was having a field day.
What do you mean backup running back? The dude is almost 40 years old. He was running like a rookie.
Yeah. That's the point. You know? Redskins, they're paper champions. They're horrible. You know? I don't expect too much out of them, and I predict Cowboys victory next Sunday.
I predict that too.
Hell yeah. That's easy, man. Alright. But yo, let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's show. You and I, we talked about this offline. If we don't bring this up, we're not doing justice. Do you remember back in 2007 when the housing market crashed?
I was a victim.
You were a victim, so you know firsthand what happened.
But I hung in there 3 more years. I hung in there until like 2011. I hung in there until then.
Well, let's do this. First, give me your story, and then we're going to tell the story of Wall Street and the crooks that lived there and worked there.
Well, my little sad story was small potatoes. I had a house down in North Carolina, man, and I'm telling you, man, all the surrounding elements were falling. No one had money to even do any type of work or any type of home improvement. The whole town was just turning into a ghost town.
Where was this?
Where my home was. High Point, North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay.
And I held in there as long as I could. I said, I'm not gonna break down. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not gonna sell it. Things got worse and worse and worse surrounding me.
People are losing their houses.
Especially with the housing surrounding me, with everybody, people's homes were just going to hell.
Yeah, there are people are losing their houses because they couldn't afford their mortgages.
Right. And not just that, it was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Now the value of my house, when all that's going on around me, it's going down and down and down and down. To where I got out a little too late. I got out when it was too late. I got out even. I broke even, but I didn't make any money.
So you ended up selling your house.
I broke even.
Broke even. Didn't gain any, didn't lose any.
Exactly. No taxes, I didn't know anything. I said, let me out of here.
But your neighbors around you, they lost their houses. For the simple fact they couldn't pay their mortgage.
Yeah, either they lost or they, the houses just, What the hell?
Now, the point I brought up, the reason I brought up the mortgage crash of 2007 and into 2008, it lasted almost a good 3 years. 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. That's when.
2010 also.
Yeah.
10 and 11.
Yeah.
10 and 11.
Reason I bring it up is because a couple weeks ago I saw a very good movie called The Big Short. All right, it's got Christian Bale in it. It's got Michael Scott from The Office. He's in it. Brad Pitt. He has a small role in it. And essentially, the movie is about the housing market crash. And previous to the market crashing, there were a certain number of Wall Street guys, Christian Bale, Brad Pitt, a whole bunch of people that saw the writing in the wall, meaning in the numbers, saying that the housing market cannot sustain the rate that it's going at. Eventually, it's going to crash and crash big.
Especially with the adjustable rates.
Exactly. The ARM, adjustable rate mortgage on a subprime loan. That's what kicked everyone's ass, and that's what caused the housing market bubble to burst. Now, you talk about prime loans and subprime loans, right? I don't want to bore the audience, but essentially these loans, they had to get a certain rating for them to be profitable by the banks. Ratings come from the SEC, the government, pretty much. They give them AAA ratings, triple Bs, triple Cs. You can guess the priorities in them, right? AAA being the best. Now, we're talking about prime loans and subprime loans. They were getting AAA ratings. What did this mean? Heck, not even the SEC knows what a AAA rating is and why they were giving it. They were just giving it. Do you know why? Because the banks were paying these guys off, say, give these loans AAA ratings, right? So they can pass the inspection and we can sell them off. Yeah. Make money off of them.
And the buyer can't even afford it.
Correct. These adjustable rate mortgages, you sign up for a 3-year, 7-year. At the beginning, it sounds great. Okay, I only pay $900 a month for my mortgage. That's great for 3 years. And then after the 3 years, because the market is so great, I'll just refinance, right? Or I'll sell it, right? That was the mentality of a home buyer going into a 3-year subprime loan. But when the housing market failed to keep rising as they were in 2004, 2005, it kind of staled out. Housing markets weren't going up anymore. And these ARMs, you weren't able to refi because the interest rates would kick in on these adjustable rates, going up to 18, 20, 27% in some cases. You know what happens after that, D? When your 3-year ARM expires? You know what you got to do? If you weren't lucky enough to refi, that $900 a month mortgage goes up to about $4,000 a month.
Oh, yeah,
Easily. Automatically, not even easy, automatically. And if you don't pay, the banks foreclose on you like that.
Interest rates, baby, went up.
Hell yeah.
Interest rates went up.
Foreclosures across the board in 2007. People just couldn't afford the mortgage on these crappy loans that the banks and the government were dishing out. They knew it was crap. And that's the kicker, D. That's the kicker. These banks, they knew Wall Street. You know, we're talking about Wells Fargo, Bank of America, the big guys, Chase Manhattan, all the big banks in Wall Street. They knew these were crap mortgages. But what's even worse, they knew that that the housing mortgage, the bubble, it could not sustain. They knew it was going to crash.
Well, they knew.
Do you know why they didn't do anything about it? They had an out. Who bailed out the banks? The government. The government did a bailout, wide, massive bailout in 2009, 2010, even when, Obama came in. And who ended up paying for that bailout? The taxpayers.
Yeah. Yeah.
These assholes in Wall Street, they knew this was going to happen, yet they continued to sell these junk loans to make a profit. And they were making billions.
Yeah.
Billions. And they knew that the housing market could not sustain itself, but they did not care because they knew they had an out. That the government and the taxpayers will bail them out. And you know what they did with the bailout money? These CEOs and these jerk-off presidents, they gave each other bonuses. Here, take 5 million, take 10 million. You deserve it.
Yeah.
But the lower-run people, the bank, the tellers and the loan officers and the appraisers, they're the ones that lost their job. The real estate agents, they're the ones that were out of a job. People that had a house no longer had a house. The smaller people suffered while these assholes on Wall Street just were laughing and collecting the money. Either way, they knew they were going to make out. And that's a crime.
Yeah, but it's just like it's still going on today. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. They just repackaged the CDOs into.
You got Wells Fargo, man. Wells charging people for accounts that they don't even have. These ghost accounts that they're charging people extra money for.
Yeah.
And it's sitting there charging people, and then when it comes out, the CEO quits and gets $124 million bonus.
He gets a parachute, golden parachute.
He said, I quit. He said, I resign. He gets $124 million.
Instead of
while the killers, the people who work behind the desks at the banks, they lost their jobs because of it.
Right. You know what, man? I understand the bailout was a necessity. It was a necessary evil. But at the same time, our government, the people that we elect, should have investigated what's going on here. What happened here? But you know what? The government's in cahoots with Wall Street. They're laying in bed with them.
They got the special interest groups, man.
I rub your back, you rub my back. That's how it works. Fuck the poor people. Let's make money off of this.
Yeah.
That's how our government is, and that's how big corporations are, and our banks.
It's the new Charlie Wilson war, Vietnam. It's the new Charlie Wilson.
Man, I don't know about all that. I just know that don't trust our government. Our government will screw you over, fuck you in the ass, and then turn around and laugh at you while they take your money.
Like I'm saying, man, Tom Hanks made a movie about Charlie Wilson, the guy that...
I saw the movie.
The guy that was in on it making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of
taxpayers' money. We're the ones that suffer either way. We get a crappy loan, and then in order to recover the economy, the precious economy has to recover. Our tax money is going to bail out these banks that screwed us over.
Yeah, they screwed us over, man, but what do you do?
And like you said, they're still screwing us over. They're still dishing out these crappy subprime loans. If the average home buyer is not smart enough to realize, hey, this is a crappy loan, don't sign. If you do, you're a sucker, and you're going to get fucked.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. There should be some type of responsibility, some ownership, but that's never going to happen. The government's never going to say, yeah, we fucked up by pushing out all these legislatives to make the housing market what it was. Because it was the government back from the 70s, 80s, and 90s to today that they enacted laws pushed by the banks to create this monster that we got in the 2000s. This housing monster that we got.
Right.
The government's laying in bed with Wall Street and saying, how can we fuck over middle America or American taxpayers in general? Because let's be honest, the rich the rich people, they do not pay taxes. Wall Street does not pay taxes. Big corporations don't pay taxes. We, the taxpayers, who are out working, doing construction jobs, doing bank teller jobs, doing the average worker's job. We're the ones paying taxes, and we're the ones bailing out these banks, and that's a shame, and that's a crime.
Right.
A taxpayer should have more say into what our taxes are doing, but we don't. Big government, federal government, does not listen to the average person because we have no money to give them. Bank lobbyists, they have money. They give it to the elected officials. Here, take this bag, a suitcase, and just make sure this housing reform law gets passed next year. That's how it works, people.
Well, it's really, listen, man, they walk right over us, man.
They absolutely do.
And then when you protest, they're like, what are you protesting?
No. They're not saying why, D. They're not saying why. You know what they're doing? They're sitting on their 110th floor penthouse looking down at the, common people. They're laughing. They're laughing at us. They're like, protest all you want. I got the government in my pocket. You think your little protest going to do anything? What was that, take over Wall Street that happened after the housing market crash? What became of that? Nothing. America has lost the right to protest because it doesn't matter anymore. We're in a fucked up system.
I think our soldiers have got it. I'm going to tell you something. I'm pissed off. I'm real pissed off with our veterans, our soldiers. They just don't get it. Not all of them. Some of them just don't get it. They got their freaking eyes closed when they put that uniform on.
Well, they're loyal to the.
You got that uniform on for a reason.
Well, when you put on that uniform, you're loyal. And it takes a lot to dissent.
You're loyal to who? To the government or to the people?
Well, to your fellow soldier. That's who you're loyal to. You don't want to screw over your fellow soldier.
Wait a minute. I don't get it. I didn't know that's how it works. Thanks for telling me.
I mean, come on.
That's how it works.
All right.
What do you mean? You there? That's where they got it twisted. You're not loyal. You don't put that uniform on to be loyal to your fellow. You put that uniform on to be loyal to your country, to be loyal to the rights that you're fighting. You got your back. You're also over there fighting and shooting a gun. You're fighting for the rights to protest.
Well, yeah. At the same time, yes, you're loyal to the uniform, but let's put the facts out there. Let's be real for a minute. A lot of people enlist are from middle and lower income families. Without the military, they ain't shit. They don't have shit.
That should be even more reason for them to know why they got the damn uniform on. You're impressed.
I'm partial here, D, because I'm former military. I know what it means to put a uniform on.
Give me a break, I wear a Marine Corps uniform too, and I know the reality of it.
I know the reality too.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everything is hokey-dokey.
It's not. Even when I was in the Navy, we knew there was discrimination. We knew there was disfaction. We knew there was favoritism. But yet we did it. Because we had to. It was our job.
No, you didn't have to.
If you didn't have to, what happened, D? Your ass get locked up in the brig if you didn't do your job.
But you volunteered.
Yeah, we volunteered. But are you going to quit? When you were in the Marines, did you quit? No, you didn't quit.
That uniform is beginning to look like a clown uniform now to me.
In retrospect, yes, you can say that. But when you were in service, you were loyal. Let's not get it twisted.
No, I wasn't.
Why did you join?
No, I wasn't loyal.
Why did you join?
I joined because I was broke.
There you go. And I stated that previously.
I wasn't loyal.
Right. Okay, take the situation. Someone like you and me, we joined because we had no other real option, right? We needed a job, we needed money, we were broke.
It wasn't because I was running around rolling up the flag.
No. We did it because it was a job and it gave us a paycheck every 2 weeks. That's why we did it. Right?
That's
But what would happen, and my point is, what would happen, D, if you didn't do your job? If you were like, fuck the military, I don't agree with what you're standing for while you're in active duty, what would happen to you? If you suddenly told your CO, your commanding officer, say, I don't agree with the values of the Marine Corps anymore.
You get out just like I did.
You might get a dishonorable discharge. They might put you in the brig. You know?
Oh, wow, I'm really proud of them now.
A dishonorable discharge is just as bad as a bankruptcy on your credit report.
Yeah, but look, man, listen, man. Let me go ahead and just rain on your parade. Let's talk about the guys who are coming back from war, who we walk right by every day.
Okay?
No job, no help. The guys are dying. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about veterans not getting the due respect? What are we?
Uniform has no respect for the common man, Quaz.
I understand that.
They have no respect. The people who put that uniform, the most of the white guys from the South, wherever they're from, they put that uniform over my country, here's the thing, yes, it's my country.
Right.
But they care nothing. They care nothing about the civil affairs.
The people they're supposed to protect. So let me get this correct. You Wait a minute. Let's back up a second. We don't go to war to protect our civil liberties. You know this and I know this. We go to war because the politicians decide we want to start a war with country X. And we got expendable troops that we can send over there. That's why we go to war.
Well, dude, we go to... No, you got it wrong. We go to war for me and you to be able to talk. We're talking right now.
Hey, tell me this, D. When's the last time another country attacked our civil liberties?
It was 1816.
Okay, that's quite a long time ago. Our civil...
It was right downtown D.C., baby.
Our civil liberties are well protected. My point is...
No, I got another one. You're going too fast. I got another one. You want another one?
Give me another one.
You never heard of Hawaii? 1942? You know about that?
Pearl Harbor. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Okay, that's what, almost 100 years ago. If we give it if we spot them a couple decades, dude. America is the big kid on the block. No.
1942.
No country, Japan, Russia, China, in the right mind is going to attack us. They're not. They did back in 1942.
That's still 21st century.
My point is, America does not go to war, because someone attacked us. Yeah, 9/11 is a different story. I'm not finished either. Let me make my point. And then, yeah, hey, oh, come on. Don't get me started on that. D. You know and I know damn well. Come on, man. 9/11, are you kidding me? You gonna bring that up?
Prove it.
Okay, you want to say Osama bin Laden was behind it?
Okay, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah? We know...
Bin Laden and Saudi Arabia. We all know that.
Okay. We know this for a fact. Huh?
That Saudi Arabians were behind it with him.
Oh, D. Come on, man. I know you better than that. Is that your stance? Are you going to say Osama bin Laden and those 19 hijackers were behind it?
I heard of all the conspiracy theories. It's almost like the bullet, the Oswald bullet.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness.
I just don't, man.
It doesn't fly with you. You don't believe it. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you only one question, and I want you to answer it as best as you can about 9/11. Okay? No. One question only, and answer it best to your knowledge. All right, are you ready? When the Pentagon got hit, did you see any plane wreckage?
I saw the plane hit it.
What did you see? You saw a blur of a video, only one video from the most highly secured building in America. And the Pentagon was only able to produce one grainy video, and you could not make out an airplane.
Okay.
So did you see an airplane that day? In all the pictures and all the video clips, did you see any airplane wreckage at the Pentagon?
Yes, I did. Well, yeah, I saw some in New York.
Yeah, but I didn't ask you about New York. Pentagon. Did you see plane? Did you see air wings? Did you see wheels? Anything? A fuselage?
We didn't witness. Listen, we didn't witness on national TV what we witnessed in New York. Of course, I didn't see the plane hit the Pentagon.
No. I'm not talking about seeing the plane. Wreckage. Did you see wreckage before the Pentagon collapsed? Did you? What I saw.
To be honest with you, I don't remember seeing any film of the Pentagon because it was such tight security. I don't remember seeing any of it.
D, go back and look up pictures and news clips of that day. We can get into the Twin Towers in a little bit, but go back and look up those pictures and video clips of the Pentagon before it collapsed. Find me a plane. When you do, then I'll be a believer.
Well, I can't speak on what I didn't see. But I can tell you
we have video clips, we have pictures of that day before the Pentagon wall collapsed. And all of those, I've researched this. I've looked through the footage, Time, CNN, all the major newspapers, and even the conspiracy theorists. I cannot produce a picture of a plane wreckage on the Pentagon before the wall collapsed. Why is that?
Forget about the Pentagon.
Okay.
Forget about the Pentagon. What about New York?
What about New York? Why did World Trade Center 7 go down? That'd be my other question.
You're not asking me the same question. Ask me the same question you just asked about Pentagon.
Oh, come on, you can't ask the same question. Of course you saw the planes. Now the question is, were those planes? Were those drones?
Ask me the same question about New York.
I can't ask you the same question. We all saw the plane hit. That'd be a bullshit question to ask. It would be a rhetorical question to ask.
So what are we saying?
What are we saying here? My belief is 9/11 did not happen the way it happened. The way we were told by the government. That 19 hijackers were able to pull off the job they did that day. What about if all the firemen, you respect firemen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? All the firemen on site that day, they said, we have the two fires damn near under control. If they had the fire under control, meaning contained, right? Controlled, contained, right? Why did the buildings come down?
Wait a minute. Who said so?
The firemen that were on site that day. Go back. Look at CNN. Look at Time.
It's obvious that they didn't have it under control.
So why would it collapse all of a sudden?
Because they didn't have it under control.
Do you think that the blast from that fuel from the plane was so hot, so intense, and so long that it was able to collapse both buildings? Not before in history or since that day has a building collapsed like that. Why is that?
It was a poorly designed building.
BS, dude. The engineers who designed it, they said it could sustain hurricane-like winds, and a blow similar to a plane hitting it. This was the day when they were creating it. They said we can sustain, they said, no. Did you hear me? D, did you hear what I said? hurricane-like winds, or an impact similar to a plane hitting it, we can sustain it. These buildings can sustain it. Can they sustain it? The engineer said yes. You didn't see the towers topple over when the plane hit it. They sustained the blow.
They were wrong, Quaz.
Oh man, that would be the first and only time in history they were wrong.
They didn't calculate an airplane going into it, man. They calculated.
You know what? There were other stronger, fiercer fires in buildings that didn't result in a total demolition of the buildings. Even after, we've had fires in high rises that were 10 times worse than the World Trade Centers, yet the buildings were able to sustain it. They stayed up. But why, in a matter, plane 2 hit the tower, and in 40 minutes that building came down? So quick. Not from the top, came down from the bottom. Why is that?
Well, I do know this. This is one thing I do know. Maybe the technical complication of it that you are trying to present on the air, maybe that is true, but at the same time, I witnessed 2 airplanes crash into the Twin Towers.
Yes, I'm not denying planes crashed into the Twin Towers. Yes, we all saw it. Yes, it was horrific. Yes, it was a terrible day. But my stance is, and we can get into the planes, but I'm running short on time. I am definitely going to bring this topic up next time. We're going to get into the planes. I got a whole bunch of shit on the planes too. Those weren't planes that you saw. Not the planes that we were led to believe anyways. But the other question I have for you, why did World Trade Center 7 go down in the evening at about 5 p.m.? For no one reason. There's no fires in there, no major fires, but it just went down all by itself. Can I tell you why? Base of operations. You have to destroy evidence. You have to destroy the World Trade Centers and World Trade Center 7, because if you don't, evidence will be found of something other than 19 terrorists doing what they did.
I'll talk to you next week about the grassy knoll, then.
We can get into grassy knoll. We can get into grassy knoll, because I got some theories on that too. It wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald and his amazing marksmanship skills. Right. Hey, but yo, great show. I love this talk. Great discussion. But I have to agree to disagree with you. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Alright, hey, that's the end of the show because I gotta go. My son's got baseball practice and I gotta go. Well, I mean, we said 30 minutes, but we're well over that. We're 8 minutes over.
That's right. I gotta roll.
Yeah, man, me too. D, great show. Loved it. I love the talk. This is your boy Quaz. With my boy D, this is the Quazemoto Show. Listen to us, like us, share us. Email us, quazemotoshow@gmail.com. D, peace out.
Go Cowboys.
I will agree with you on that. We'll leave it at that.